Hey, I'm Khalid again, and welcome to my podcast where we strip away the fluff and get straight into what actually moves the needle. If you want to learn and see behind the scenes of my and my client's business, hit like, subscribe, and send it to someone who needs it. If you're tired of hearing, let me think about it, send me an email, call me tomorrow. I need to talk to my partner. I need to talk to my wife. This episode is going to hit you hard because we are going to uncover why they are not buying from you and how to fix that starting today with the help of the whiteboard that you see here. All right, I'm on the whiteboard. Punch in the gut moment. Why I call this punch in the gut moment? Because people don't buy your product. They buy your belief. They buy clarity. They buy confidence. And how will you build that before you even pick up your phone and dial, right? So since I'll be talking about cold calls because our last subject in the last video was cold call, so I'll be talking about cold call. What is it that people are not buying your product, or they are not even, in the first place, they are not even listening to you? What is it that you are doing wrong? They don't want to talk to you. When you make cold calls, everybody tells you, first 10-second dial and say, if the other person picks up, that, hi, my name is Khalid and I'm calling you from so-and-so company. And the reason I'm calling you is XYZ. Do you think that is going to work? The thing is, you need to understand that the prospect that you're calling, he needs respect, right? He is a human at the end of the day. Now, for you, he might be a lead from a list. But try to understand this. Be in his shoes, that when you're cold calling someone, they are busy doing X, Y, or Z, but then all of a sudden you are interrupting their day. And if they are giving you time, you're not coming up as professional or friendly as you're supposed to, so that they give you time. Now imagine what happens if your mother calls you during a very busy day. You pick up the phone, you talk nicely, and then hang up, right? And then, take time and then tell her that you'll call her back at XYZ time. But in contrary, if you get a marketing call, what do? You don't even pick up if you realize that it's a marketing call, right? The reason why marketing call or telecallers everybody sound like same, because they're not being trained. Now, after being in trenches for last 15 years, one thing is for sure that I've understood is that when you talk to the other person, whether it's a Zoom call, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a one-on-one, you need to have that kind of energy that the other person likes. But before doing that, there are a few things that you need to be habitual of. Let me write this down. Now, we are taking a step back before you're making a cold call. This is what we need to do. We need to completely scan the profile. What does that mean? What do I mean by scanning a profile? Now, scanning a profile here means to understand what is it that excites your prospect the most. So that is what you are looking for here in simple words, if I had to put it in. So I'll give you a framework here. So before you even make a cold call, you need to find out what. Okay, I'm just giving you a framework. Why. You should be able to answer the what, why, right? And if you are able to find, it's better. If not, fine. I mean, you can skip this, but keep it handy. How? Okay? What, why, how? That's what you have to look for in someone's profile. Now, what do I mean by profile? Profile here means his social media account, meaning LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. If he has any website, we can go there, see what he's doing, what excites him most and whatnot, right? So what are the things that you need to find is what excites the prospect most, okay? I'll tell you why we are finding that, so that you know your prospect before calling him. All right. And that's how you can nail 30 seconds. And I'll give you, like in my next video, you will see how I did it. Right. And it doesn't take that much time. By the way, initially, it might, if you're starting it out, it might take 10 minutes. But if after practice with muscle memory, it just takes 5 minutes. Now, if you spend 5 minutes and you do your due diligence before calling someone, I promise you, if you make 50 calls, that would be worth it. Okay. Now, that's you can come up with another objection here. Well, if the pickup rate is low, well, then we'll talk about that later on. This is just the first series. I'm starting it out. So, slowly and gradually, I'll uncover everything. Okay. What excites the most? Obviously, the prospect, right? What is he more interested in? His interest. Okay. Interest. Now, once you have figured out what excites him the most and what he is interested in, now you know something about him. And even at this stage also you call him, you'll be good to go. But I like to dig deeper, so that if there is, if I want to be ready for any kind of objection that the prospect throws at me. All right. Now, if something excites him, why does it excite him? All right. So let's say your prospect loves soccer, right? Why? There could be a reason, right? If you dig deeper, you'll find it out. It could be anything, right? So why? I'm just giving you an example, and it can be implemented to anything, right? I'm not saying why he is more interested in football. Why does football excites him? I'll just answer that in a minute. Just bear with me. So why, let's say, soccer excites him? That's the question that you want to answer. Now, coming to the third point, which is how, you have to figure out how he does what he does. All right. Meaning it could be business, right? Business. Now you have his personal information, in-depth information, and business information. Why did I put business the last here? Because you don't want to talk about his business the moment he picks up the call. You don't want to do that. You want to talk about his interest, what excites him most, right? And why it excites him most, right? Let me just get into that, okay? So let's take an example of soccer or martial arts. Let's take example of martial arts, because I've been a student of martial arts. Let's say prospect A, you have a prospect A. What are the information that we can dig from social media these days? It's quite fascinating. He loves, prospect A loves martial arts, MA. Okay. He is a black belt, maybe first dan, fourth dan, right? That's degree. The reason I gave you the martial art example, because in my next video, you will see me calling a prospect who was fourth dan black belt and how I started the call, and you'll get an idea. I mean, everything will uncover there. So loves martial arts, is a black belt, that to fourth dan, right? Why? That's an amazing question here. Why martial arts excites him? There could be a story behind it, right? So take it this way. Let's say you love riding bicycles, right? And the reason you love riding bicycles is because your father, when you were young, your father taught it to you, and there are so many memories around it. And I'm sure you would be, if you dig deeper, would be able to find something, but it's not necessary that you want to have that. But if you have it, that's amazing. He will not hang up the call. Trust me. So let's say memory with son or father or mother, anything emotional. Now you are getting into emotions. All right. Now the last thing is business, which includes what he does, how he does. That's pretty much simple. You'll get to know when you are on his profile. If he's a real estate agent, you'll see, and how he does his business, you'll see everything there, right? So now, let's see, what do we have here? We have a real estate agent who loves martial arts. he still continues to practice martial arts. The reason he is pursuing the journey, he is continuing the journey, is because there is emotions attached to it. That it could be like his father used to take him to martial art lessons when he was young, and now he's continuing the journey because it reminds him of his father, right? So that's the emotional connect here. And guys, let me tell you something. Sales is not about logic. Sales is all about emotion. So if you can connect with your potential prospect emotionally, trust me, you don't have to sell. Things will, or your services, your product will sell itself. Obviously, it needs to be that good of a product. But anyways, yeah. So this is something that you do before you even pick up your phone to dial, right? So again, I'll just run down through it. You scan the profile, right? What you do is you try to find out what, why, and how. You try to dig deeper into the emotions of the prospect so that you can talk about that as well. Whole thing comes like your prospect A, who is a real estate agent, loves martial art. He's a black belt. You go a little further. He is Foden black belt, right? And the reason why he continues to do martial art, it reminds him of his father. And the how is like how he does business. It he could do anything. He could be like posting on LinkedIn or maybe Instagram or Facebook. That when you do the research, that's the very obvious, right? So this is what you do before even picking up the phone and dialing the problem. In the next episode, we'll go deeper into scripting powerful questions and using automation to pre-close before the actual. So subscribe, share, and send this to who's still stuck in pitch mode. Bye-bye.